Now that it's June, we'll sleep out in the garden.
They'd come up to me and they'd be like, I had a secret, I watch your show. And I'm like, why is that embarrassing? You know, or like people are like, it's my favorite guilty pleasure. And I'm like, why am I guilty to you? Like, stop it. Like, I'm not chocolate cake. Which shouldn't be guilty either. The great thing about Pretty Little Liars is it's everything that it is, and it does it very well. It's not afraid. You know, it's got a certain element of camp. It's got a certain element of thriller and horror, just like fun shock value. And then it's also got this very real base in these characters' lives and their relationships. So, you know, the issues like Emily finding out how to come out to her friends and her family, or Spencer falling in love and being betrayed for the first time, you know, or Aria figuring out how to have an adult relationship with somebody that has a child. It's all of these things that not just teenagers are going through, but that we are going through as human beings over and over again in our lives, and trying to understand how to assimilate. And I think that it does that very well. And then, you know, it's fun and it's fashion filled and it's, you know, full of laughs. And these girls are, I love them. I love them to death. You know, not just Spencer, but I have a special place for like Hannah in my heart. So I think that that's what people really like. So I think that it's really fun to play Spencer because it's kind of like going back and like looking back on who I was in a sense, you know, and kind of having sympathy for that person, because I put so much pressure on myself when I was younger. So it's kind of nice to look back and be like, oh wow, that poor little girl. So that's the way I feel about Spencer. She's like a little younger version of me. A challenge because it's like it's very odd for me right now, but my best friend is about to get married very soon, and we've been best friends since I was Spencer's age. And so I saw her in her like wedding dress, and I started to like cry. And it's like I'm having these life experiences where like people in my life are growing up, or certain people I love are having children, and I'm having a very adult experience of life. And then I go to like high school, and like literally I will stand in front of Spencer's locker and be like, oh my god, I'm still in high school. Like, this is so weird. I still have to sit in a classroom and listen to Ezra teach. So it's a really interesting kind of push and pull that I have, where it's like I have to remember what it's like to live under my parents' roof and be a teenager, and yet in my life I'm experiencing so many other things. Spencer and I are very similar in that I really love Spencer's clothing. I love, she's a very like classic American line, the blazers, the blouses, and she's very like Ralph Lauren in that way. But I don't really dress up as much as Spencer does, and so I think I'm much more like a casual kind of ripped stockings and a punk t-shirt. You know, I like to be comfortable, and Spencer's clothes are definitely not comfortable, but I do love the style. And I used to always say Aria because I really like a lot of like goth kind of darker stuff, but actually most recently Emily's been getting the best stuff, because she's been getting really like a lot of All Saints, a lot of like cool leather jackets and like sneakers and spikes. So I've kind of been into Emily's style for a while. Growing up, and I still am, a very big avid fan of Conor Oberst, this musician that started the group Bright Eyes and kind of founded the folk indie scene in Omaha with Saddle Creek Records. And I was obsessed with all of his songs, and there was one song that just had that lyric, "Sleep Out in the Garden," and it's very funny because it's just kind of like, you know, when you build like a Twitter name or like any sort of name on the internet, it's just kind of what you like. And then now, because I'm, you know, part of this show, everybody's like, well, what does that mean? Are you gonna sleep out in the garden? Is it rainy in the garden? I'm like, what do you mean? And I'm just like, no, it's just something that I liked once, you guys. But it's cool. I like it. Awesome things. They've told me that the fans are amazing, which is really cool, and just that I'm gonna have a blast. That it's totally right up my alley. There's beautiful beaches. There's beautiful things to see, and the people are warm and kind, and that it's just someplace that I couldn't miss. So I'm here. I believe what Patrick has told me is that I am not allowed to do anything because I, like Spencer, I'm a little bit of an overachiever. And he's like, if you plan anything, I will kill you, and I won't do it. Because he's been going crazy on this press tour. This is like my first really big day, so you guys have all been amazing. But he's been doing this almost every day of this tour, and so I think he really wants to lay on a beach, and that'll give me time to swim, surf, write, read, blah, 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 do all the things that I like to do while he just kind of snoozes in the corner. So I think that's what he's excited about. I think we're both very fortunate in that we both fell in love before we got our shows. And so the coolest thing about being in a relationship with him is that I've got to see, and he's got to see from me, what this roller coaster is like. It's not like, I think what happens to a lot of people is, they kind of get along to a certain point in their career, and then they date somebody else at a certain point in their career, and then their egos, clash, and it's like, who's more famous and stuff like that. And so for both of us, it's just kind of been such a surprise for both of us to land on such amazing shows. I'm such a fan of his show too, that we've both kind of been able to be there for each other and respect it in a way that's not competitive or strange. I think the only odd thing for us is that we didn't, because we'd never experienced it before, and we didn't know how much of it to protect, because it's like, I'm on Twitter, he's on Twitter, we're both on Instagram, we're going to be taking pictures of each other, and so people have this idea about our relationship, or like, when we went on vacation together, we apparently got engaged 3 times. And it was weird because I had people from my family back home calling me and being like, why didn't you tell me? And I was like, because it's not true. Like, we've been more and more trying to keep it kind of private in us, but it's just something that's like, people are going to say whatever they want to say about it, so you kind of just have to ignore it. I think we joke about it a lot. I think it's great because it's like, when you're dating an actor, hopefully an intelligent actor, they understand that it's a job, and you understand for them that it's a job. I think it's definitely not the most pleasurable thing that I get to do when I watch his romantic scenes. But the good thing is that I am actually, I do love Meghan Markle, and she's such a sweetheart. And so it's kind of like, if you're gonna, play in love with somebody, what better person could you ask for than her? She's a lovely human being, so beautiful, and she's actually really kind. So until he, has a love interest that I don't like, I don't know what I'll do about that. That's such a good question, because Donna is sassy, and that would be a blast to play. And I guess I have to say Donna. I would want to say like Rachel, but I think it would be really too hard because the Mike Rachel love stuff, I would just be like, I just want to get together with you. You're so cute. Like, this sucks. Why do we have to keep on breaking up? So I don't know. I think it'd definitely be a toss-up between those two, because Donna has all the best lines, and she gets all the cool scenes with Gabriel. So that would be fun too.
You practically grew up in the industry, right? So yeah. So what can you imagine as something you'd be doing if you weren't in show business right now?
Well, I used to have a dream. It was funny, it's like growing up, because this is how I kind of figured out that I wanted to be an actress, was I would see a movie and then I want to do that job. So it's like I saw Jurassic Park and I wanted to be a paleontologist, and I became obsessed with dinosaurs. And then I saw G.I. Jane and I wanted to be the first female Navy SEAL. And then all of a sudden I realized, oh, maybe I just want to play all of these things. Maybe I don't actually want to be them. But when I grew up, oddly enough, the thing that I really wanted to be, and this is going to gross kind of a couple people out, I wanted to be either a forensics detective or a mortician. I wanted to work with dead people. Don't ask me why, I just really did as a kid. I just thought I'd be so happy in a morgue. I don't know. I thought I'd be really happy there. Maybe it was because I didn't like a lot of people, so I just thought, just deal with dead people, they'll be fine.
Okay, last question. You seem to have everything going well for you these days. Like you have your hump day hottie next door, and then
I forgot about the hump day hottie.
Yeah,
I never let him live that down. It's so good.
And then you also have your thriving career, and a lot of girls look up to you. What message can you give young girls who want to be just like you, or they want to get their dreams as well?
The message that I have for them is don't stop, because I know that as great as everything looks for me, I know I'm still trying to find myself, and it's funny because if you would ask me, if all of your dreams come true, I'd be like, no, what world are you living in? I have miles and miles to go. I want so many things for my life, my personal life, for my career, for my future, that I'm still running hard and fast in the direction of all of the dreams that I have. So, my biggest message to everybody is, just focus on being you, going after what you want, and don't let anybody get in your way.
Okay, thank you.
On ETC, we're match airing episodes with America, so you're not an episode behind. It's every Saturday at 8 p.m. and I really hope you guys enjoy the show. We have 3 episodes left until the finale, which is March 23rd. So I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for everything. Thank you.
One more time, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Troian Bellisario. Round of applause, please.